Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. This is, well, technically a video about making World of Warships Blitz videos, which is why you see me right now, because I kind of want to show you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and just give you a bit of a general impression how these things work. So this here, that's my phone. This is an LG G7. This is the device that I'm playing on every day. And this is the device that I'm actually also recording on. And in the background here, that's my laptop. It's a Lenovo T560, dual core i5 and 8 gigs of RAM. It's nothing special, but it's good enough for doing these kind of things. So how do I record? How do I start with all these things? Let me switch over to the phone and I'll show you over there. So the app that I'm using for recording is called AZ Screen Recorder, and I'm recording in 1080p because that's the resolution that I'm uploading to YouTube as well. It could do more, but there's no need because then I don't need to. It gives me smaller files. I record in 30 FPS and with a bitrate of 12 Mbit. This I found usually gives me the best combination of things. One important thing to consider when you're recording is that oftentimes phones have battery saver sorts of features. So in case for me, for example, there's an extended battery saver. So when I'm recording, I'm actually going to switch that off. And I find that it gives me better video quality if I switch that off. Otherwise, I end up running a little bit low occasionally. One thing that's kind of specific about recording on an Android device is that you can't record the audio output from an application on the device, right? So you see that on the bottom here there's a record audio, but I can't record the internal audio. So this of course means that somehow I have to record the audio by other means. So let me show you how that works. So one possible way of doing this is just using the external audio and the microphone of the phone. This is what I do when I do just normal recordings, because I don't have a script or I don't have any kind of plan really what I'm going to do. So I just record as I go and get the audio output out. I usually have something like this, like a Bluetooth speaker, and I get a quiet place, and then I record both the game audio and my own voiceover as I go along into using the microphone that actually is on the phone itself, and get it all into one file. And that makes the easiest to edit, because that way you can you literally just have to take the file, adjust everything a little bit, and then render it together and you'll be done. If I'm doing something a little bit more elaborate, like what I'm doing right now, so you can kind of see that over here, I will use my computer to record the audio. So for example, for any kind of more complicated video like the map tactics videos, I would record the game separately and then do a voiceover afterwards, because I have to do things like pause and talk about certain features and such. So I would record the audio separately. I'm running Linux on this machine, so I'm using Audacity to record audio via the microphone from the laptop, which is what I'm doing right now, which is what you see in the background. Now, what about the game audio in these kind of situations? Well, let me show you that as well. So since I can't actually record the game audio in-game, and I can't get the game audio without my voiceover, I actually have one of these things, which is a USB sound card. It's got a USB plug on one side, and what I'm going to do is I just jack with a 3mm audio jack, because nobody wants Apple with their shenanigans. Still got the good old headphone jacks. So I've got the phone just connected to the sound card, and this is a USB sound card, so I can just literally plug that into a USB port on the laptop. And then with this setup, I can use Audacity to record the audio track coming from the game, and I can record the video on the phone, and I just have to line these two up, and then I can do a separate recording of my voiceover using Audacity again while I'm replaying the video on the laptop, and then match all that up. So the biggest trouble of that is to actually match that all up in editing. So let me show you what that looks like when we're doing some editing. So the next thing for the editing then comes down to KDN Live, which is what I use for video editing on Linux. And I create a new project. Let's do this with the example of the Alabama, which is what I'm just going to edit today still. There we go. So I've got my edit folder, which is where I'm going to create my project. I created as a 1080 by 30 FPS because that's going to be the resolution. So I recorded in 30 FPS on the phone. So I'm uploading in 30 FPS as well because there's no reason to do anything else. And then I'm going to add, well, first of all, the intro. So let's find that, my good old intro. There we go. First video I ever did. So when I started with this, I really had no idea how any of this worked, or how to edit videos, how to record these things on a mobile device, how to sort the audio out. I had literally no idea of any of this. So I figured this all out as I went, and just read up on it. It's all not that difficult. But there we go. So intro is in. You can see here, tracks down there. And then the next thing I'm going to add is the first recording for the actual video, which is going to be this one. So here you go, and you see here, you can select here which part of the video you want to have in, but I want to have the whole thing in for starters, and I'm just going to add that. Okay. So now you can see that the audio from the intro is quite a bit louder than the rest of it. So I usually do an audio adjustment on the audio track of the video. Just get the volume up a little bit. Usually about 7-8 decibels is enough. The mic on the phone records a lot quieter than, say, the mic on my laptop. So I usually have to adjust that a little bit. So this is an easy video because I just have the audio track directly recorded with the video on device and the game audio through the external microphone as well. So it's all just together, and I literally just need to stick these things next to each other. So then I can actually just kind of play it here.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz.
And there's my voice on it. Then I'm going to need a fade in. So let's do a fade from black on this video. And then the other thing I need to do, which is unfortunately taking a little bit of my time, is whenever there is the main screen on the video, you've got the chat box down here. And right now it doesn't really say anything, but occasionally the chat is pretty toxic in the game. And I really don't want to see what 12-year-olds want to do to each other's moms. So I've got a title clip here that I've saved, which is basically just a black box. And I can just overlay that with the other on the other track. So if you look at that now, and as soon as it gets into that,
is the ship in numbers. But how does
chat is now censored. Okay, now you can see here where my audio cuts off. This is pretty much where the video ends, and I stop the recording after I've done the kind of initial ship analysis and description section, just so I can easily so it's much easier to edit because I know what ends where. So the battles all are in their own videos. So I usually just cut that back here, let it run all the way to the end. We obviously need to extend the chat section all the way there. And then I'm going to go and get the battle, which is the next file, which I'm just going to, well, append here until everything is done. And then I get to render this. So rendering usually takes about, let's say, 45 minutes for a half-hour video, to an hour probably. And so you see, it's not, I don't really have a super powerful machine or anything for this, but it'll totally do. And then I end up with a video of usually about 800-900 megabytes, and that needs to be uploaded. I've got a 1 Mbit upstream through 4G, So yeah, that takes a little bit of time, usually about an hour and a half to get that uploaded. So that's something I'm just, and then nobody here in the house can use the internet connection when I'm doing that. So I usually have to kind of schedule that a little bit, or use some of the backup 4G connections for everything else. Now, if I'm recording directly, and like I said, without script and without much of a plan, I just kind of talk along and comment while I'm recording. Sometimes I mess up. Sometimes, yeah. So if I'm being a bit of an idiot, and or if I just have kind of questions that I leave open, then I can just edit. I can add a subtitle in post relatively easily, again by just putting a title clip in here, and then I drag that into there. And then if you look at that,
not really. Battleships,
you've got a
crazy.
subtitle. So this is what I do in my second
really
pass. The first pass is the actual recording. The second pass is me commenting on my commenting of the first pass, pretty much. Unless I have a video which is a lot more analytical and a lot more complicated, like say the battle tactics videos, because then I have to actually stop, pause the video, and do like a zoom in and such things. So I actually then have to extract a frame out, cut the video, put the frame in the middle, and line that up with my audio that I have recorded separately via Audacity earlier. So the audio in that case is going to be the lead, and I have to edit the video to match up with the audio. That can easily take 2 hours plus to get one of the more complex videos edited. So there's a certain amount of work involved in these, whereas the straight up I just do something and comment while I'm doing videos are much easier to edit. And then, well, I render that, again, 1080 by 30 as MP4s. The other thing that I need to do is I actually need a title card. So if I take a screenshot directly on my phone, or I'm going to just get a frame out from here, put that down there, and then use a graphics editor. So in my case, that's GIMP. This is kind of a freeware Photoshop alternative. And then I can open my file, which is going to be in the Alabama directory. There's my frame that I exported. Now I usually cut off the black borders because I don't really want those. So let's crop that to selection. Then I have to get the aspect ratio corrected. So this is 890 high. There we go. So 890 high times 77, 1582. So just change the canvas size, 1582. And align the ship a little bit in the middle. There we go. Now it's the right aspect ratio for YouTube. And then I'm just going to throw a title text in there. There we go. Just the top of here probably. Let's make that a bit bigger. Maybe like 250 pixel. There we go. That looks pretty neat. And then I'm done. I'm just going to export that as a JPEG, and this is going to be the title card. Might put it on the bottom, maybe. Depends on what looks better. What do you think? Does this look better? Probably does. Okay. So let's just export that as cover, JPEG, and that's that. Yeah, and then I'm done. I'm rendering and I'm uploading, and you have a new video. So this is how I record videos, how I edit videos, and how this all comes together. Thanks for watching the making of, and I'll see you next time. Bye.